Hello everybody, it's me, the Raw Local Maniac. I'm back again with another 8-Bit Wars. Now, as you can see, today I'll be playing the classic arcade game, which is Commando. Now, first things first, guys, I'd like to apologise if it's going to be running a little bit slow, this arcade version. The reason being is I had to sort of like try and capture the arcade footage, and it was running really slow, so I had to sort of like crop it a little bit to make it run a little bit faster. Didn't want to crop it too much, otherwise you wouldn't get the whole playing area, but so you'll have to excuse me for that. But at least the whole point of it's there. You get to check out the graphics, the sound effects, a little bit of the music, although it's running a bit slow. I mean, normally this game does control really fast. You know, the character Super Joe, you know, he just whizzes around the screen pretty fast. Playing it like this actually does actually help because you can see all the bullets coming, so it's a lot tougher when it's running at full speed, so I do apologise about that, guys. So basically you play this character called Super Joe, and what you've got to try and do is work your way from the bottom of the screen right to the top and basically try and not be killed. So you've got to try and kill as many baddies as you can if someone's in the way. And playing this as a youngster really made me feel like I was like a Rambo or something like that, so I really enjoyed this game. It was really addictive. And basically the way the arcade worked is that you had your joystick, and then you also had two fire buttons. You had the fire button to shoot your bullets, then you had your grenade button. Now in some of the 8-bit versions, the way you pull off the grenade is somewhat different. Sometimes you have to press a different button for it, for the grenade, and in one of the other versions you just have to hold fire, which actually, you know, shoots your grenade. Now what we are going to compare it to is the graphics. I want you to pay attention to the level layout as well, the sprites, the sound effects, the music. Although the music is running slow, it's very memorable. And one of the versions actually got different music from the other versions. One of the versions is superb, and one of the versions' music is pretty surprisingly good as well. But all in all, it's a great game. Now what I've got to try and do is work my way to the top of the screen. I'll reach like a fort with a big door. And what will actually happen once I get there, the door will open and I've got to try and kill all the baddies on that screen before I can progress to the second rounds. And it's a lot tougher than it actually seems, basically. I mean, I was doing pretty well up until then, but it's a tough game actually. And you can probably find this game on the Capcom collection. It's a great game, and I think that is available on the PS2, on the PC. If you haven't played this game in a while, I would certainly recommend that you pick it up because it's a fun game. Now there's that fort I was telling you about. But all in all, it's probably one of my favourite shooters. This and the Carry Warriors, which I will be doing an 8-Bit Wars of as well. Right, so as always, we're going to move on to the Spectrum, Amstrad, and then the Commodore 64. So this is the ZX Spectrum version of Commando. Now check out this amazing music. That's probably my cat you can hear in the background. He wants a bit of attention. So while I give my cat a little bit of attention there, you can listen to this music. How good is that music? That music's phenomenal. Now the 48K version doesn't actually have that music, but I'm playing the 128K version. It is really good. I think the arcade version did sort of move around at this sort of speed. What you'll find with all three 8-bit computer versions, the playing area is a lot smaller than the actual arcade version. The arcade version was slightly longer. But I mean, you get most of the level layout. Okay, the graphics are a bit basic. The sprites look really nice though, but the trees and other bits and bobs they don't look as good. I mean, the wall looks pretty good there, but the trees could have had a little bit more of a graphical sort of touch there. Oh, it's a fantastic game, this is. I love the music, and I love how easy it is to control. Now this is the version I was saying, guys, to throw a grenade, what you have to do is basically hold on to the fire button, and that'll shoot you a grenade. I can normally get by without actually shooting the grenades, and on the ZX Spectrum version, as well as the other versions, I guess probably sometimes the best way to do it is try and avoid them really, and try and work your way as fast as you can, but all in all, it's a superb conversion. It's got all the playability of the arcade. It does help having the music. Okay, it may not be the best looking game, but it does control pretty much exactly like the arcade game, and it's a brilliant conversion, and I've had hours of fun with this. I can only get to like about level 4, and believe me, it does get tough, this game. I get a lot further on this than I do on the arcade version, actually. Alright, that's me dead. I'm not going to bother enter my name, guys. Right, this is the Amstrad version, the CPC 464 version. This is the version I used to play at home. Now that music's very different. Don't know why they decided to go with that music. Was this music actually in the arcade game, guys? I'm not too sure, I'm not too familiar with that. Have a little listen. It's not as good as the music in the other versions. I'm not saying the music's bad, but it's just not as good. Alright then, guys. So here we go. Graphics are a lot better than the ZX Spectrum version. It's got full colour. I don't think it moves as fast, but it's got better sound effects, I think. Graphics do look a little bit blockier though, but it does look a lot better with the colour on the screen. And I quite like this version actually that's playing through the game. It's nice music actually. It's not as good as the Spectrum version, but you know what? This has got a distinctive sound to it, and it really sounds good actually. The way this controls, again, it controls pretty much like the arcade game. Feels like the Spectrum version as well, and it's a nice conversion actually. It's a colourful looking game. Probably not the best looking game, but then again, you know, the arcade game wasn't a fantastically looking game, so given that, I think this game's done, you know, it's done pretty well. Now this 8-bit war is going to be a tough 8-bit wars. I don't know if some of you guys remember, I used to have a different YouTube channel, which was The Real Locomaniac, and I got rid of that channel over a year and a bit ago, and then I started doing all my videos again on Locomaniac's 1HMPS and here on the sites. So this was one of the videos I did do, but I'm going to redo it again basically, and the winner of this 8-bit wars might be different to the one that I chose last time, because I've been playing this game to death quite a lot recently. It doesn't show, you know, by the amount I'm getting killed though. Right, so this is the Commodore 64 version of Commando. Now graphically this looks the best out of all of them. It does look really, really good though. And again guys, you know, even though I did have a Commodore 64, I wasn't a big fan of the colour scheme of the Commodore 64. But guys, I think this game looks and plays fantastically, and this music, how good is that? Probably one of my favourite in-game musics ever. I just love this, the music in this game. It's absolutely phenomenal. Now, so how does this game control? Well, it controls pretty well. It moves pretty fast, there's loads of enemies on the screen. It's probably the hardest out of the 3 8-bit computer versions, because everything just whizzes past you, and it really is like hard to try and avoid the bullets sometimes, and the grenades, they just fly at you. Whereas in the other 8-bit versions, the grenades sort of slow down in mid-air. It's really hard to actually avoid them. But the music is phenomenal. Now guys, I'm not saying the other 8-bit versions were rubbish, the Spectrum or the Amstrad, because I think they're fantastic conversions, but I think this version has got that little bit more panache. It's got a little bit more, I don't know, it looks a lot better basically. The music, the graphics, the sound effects, gameplay, it's all there, and it feels more polished than the other 2 versions. I'm the Real Locomaniac, and I shall see you next time. Oop, Commodore 64 is a winner. Goodbye.